Greetings, viewers, and very, very, very welcome back to Just Short of Fantastic. Much like today's subject, I'm breaking my hiatus for a comeback, not a reboot. Yes, that's right. Today I want to talk to you about Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers, and we're going to be looking at the good, the bad, and the gadget. Alright, some of you may know that they are making, or they have made, a Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers comeback movie, and it's going to be streaming on Disney Plus in May. So I have seen the trailer multiple times now because it is just so mind-blowingly amazing, and I can't wait for this movie. I am so excited. However, because of the movie, I decided, hey, all of Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, the old TV show, is available on Disney Plus, and I want to rewatch all of it. There are 65 episodes, so there were 60 episodes of the TV show, and then 5 were like a made-for-TV movie that they just cut up into 5 episodes, and that movie tells the story of how the 5 members of the Rescue Rangers met. Well, Chip and Dale have always been together, and then those two, plus the other 3 members of the Rescue Rangers family, how they all came together and decided to become the Rescue Rangers. So that is weirdly mixed in with the episodes as a 5-part series, but it doesn't come at the front, and nor does it come at the end, which is when it was created, once the TV show had sort of like finished. Television is weird. Whatever. So, as I am discovering, I have watched, checks notes, 46 of these 65 episodes so far, and I can tell you, I'm pretty sure that I have never once actually seen an episode of this show. There are things about this show that, like, I never knew. Alright, so let's get into it. The good. I do unequivocally know the difference between Chip and Dale now. For a lot of people, I think this is very confusing. Which one is which? Chip, as in chocolate chip. He has the dark chocolate chip nose. Dale, of whom I do not have a zoom, is the one with the red nose. And that's just how I remember them. Chocolate Chip and Dale. The other good that I found when I was first starting to rewatch the show is that Monterey Jack, first of all, he's Australian. I love Monterey Jack's character so much. I have big expectations for him in the movie, although from the trailers it does look like he's got himself into a spot of trouble with his cheese addiction. But the good with Monterey Jack is that he, at least at the very beginning of the show, he has such amazing asexual uncle energy. I was just loving it. He's a wanderer. He wanders around looking for the next piece of cheese. And that's not a euphemism. He's literally looking for cheese, which, as a foodie myself, respect. And they walk this back the more you get into the show. I guess they were like, no, everyone must have love interests. This is a child cartoon of the 90s. But, like, obviously Chip and Dale are competing for Gadget's affections. Zipper's a fly, so, like, whatever. But, like, he falls in love with this bee queen, so he's got it going on there, I guess. It was the 90s. But, like, I really wanted Monterey Jack to just stay, like, the fun asexual uncle. I was really digging that vibe. It was the 90s. The bad. And it's bad. Numerous episodes in which Asian characters or Asian cultures were being vilified, not shown in a good light at all. Disney has a history of doing this, and on their Disney Plus, they have added cultural insensitivity warning cards at the beginning of these episodes, saying that they know the stereotypes were harmful then and they're harmful now, thought about taking those episodes out, but in the end they decided to keep them in so that they could spark dialogue and to welcome people in to say, hey, we know this was bad, we want to learn from it, we want to talk about it, and we want to get better and move forward together. In response to that, if you have not seen the new Pixar movie Turning Red, go see it right now. I'll wait. Amazing, right? But yeah, so that was pretty bad. There are other cultures and stereotypes that they use throughout the show. There's a pretty bad episode that takes place in Ireland about leprechauns and banshees. There is one episode where they go to a carnival and there is a gypsy fortune teller. She's a moth. I also want to discuss that specific episode, not because of the stereotypes of gypsy fortune tellers, which are bad, but because of how... Let's just get into that. Let's get into that. The other bad. So Chip is an abuser? Yeah. Yeah. That was a huge shock to me. So much of my young adult life makes so much sense now when I rewatch these 90s cartoons and I see how characters behave and how those behaviors are accepted by the people around them. And now I know why we are in the space that we're in now, because of the shows that made us. Chip is an abuser, and that makes me deeply uncomfortable. I love Chip. His idea of a good time is to do more work. That's me. But he's also incredibly abusive, specifically to Dale. There is a balance there. Like, they do insult each other back and forth. They play pranks on each other back and forth. But like Chip, you would think he wouldn't be as violent as he is towards Dale. And it's really upsetting. In the beginning, like, you see them, they are kind of violent to each other. They're always like hitting each other. But there is that sort of male toxic behavior where it's like, haha, we can fight each other, but like as soon as one of us in danger, like, it's for real. We save each other. We've got each other's backs. We're a family, and that's just what family does, which also not great for kids. It was the 90s. But anyway, so the episode where they go and they see that gypsy fortune-telling moth is really when it came home for me. Because in that episode, they all go to this fortune teller and she reads their fortunes and they're all, you know, all in good fun. And then she gets to Chip, and Chip does not believe in fortune telling as part of his, like, I'm the smart one. He doesn't believe in it, and he, like, objects to it, and he's all like, ha ha ha, like, you're a joke. I'm not gonna believe in it. That stuff's not real. But she prophesies that he is going to die. All of his friends are worried about him. They try to keep him, like, out of the case in that episode because they don't want his fortune to come true. But then the fortune does come true. And for a second, it does look as though Chip has died. However, he's not dead, haha, because it's only episode 35. But they all believe that he dies, and they'd all been worried about him this whole episode. And then so when you see the reveal that he actually survived, Dale runs to him and hugs him and is so happy that he is alive. But then in a split second, he remembers what Chip is like, and he gives him this look of like, oh no, I'm hugging you. Is that okay? And for a second, it looks like Chip is going to, like, hit him or say something nasty, but then he just accepts the hug, and it's this really cute moment. But that look that Dale gives to Chip in that moment of, like, oh no, is this okay? That has haunted me in the weeks since I've watched that episode. I had to pause the show. That was the moment where I realized, I was like, oh no, Chip is an abusive friend. It was episode 35, so if you take out the 5-part movie that they put in before that, that's episode 30. That's halfway through your TV show's run to have that kind of behavior. And then in later episodes, they walk that back. There's a little less violence. There's a little more, like, empathy on Chip and Dale's parts. So I still have 19 episodes left. I'm just really curious how they're going to bring back that relationship and if they're going to make any sort of comment about that. Only time will tell. Let's move on to our final category, the Gadget. Much like all female-bodied children of the 90s, I really, really love Gadget. I think she is great. She's a great character. She's great representation for little girls because she's an engineer. She loves to build things. She's like confident and she knows where she belongs. She does all this great stuff. And that's not really true. That's not how she's portrayed in the show. I mean, it is, but also it's not. It was the 90s. There are a lot of episodes where Gadget is indecisive, doesn't think that she belongs anywhere, constantly being humble, even though she creates these amazing inventions that help her found family do all of the things that they do. Like, without her, the Rescue Rangers could not achieve the things that they achieved. Like, she builds all of their vehicles and all of their, like, tech, but they're constantly like undermining her or like saying things like, oh no, it's a new prototype, is it gonna work, are things gonna explode, I'm really worried. Like, they support her, but also you're very aware that she is the girl. Chip and Dale are constantly vying for her affection, and she is constantly like a sexual object. Even though she gets to wear a jumpsuit most of the time, but still, it's like, it's just, It was the 90s. What I love about Gadget is that in that 5-part movie, she is introduced as having, and I quote, a mind-bashingly high IQ. And she has to continually invent and build new things to alleviate her boredom. I love it so much. However, they say that as a flaw to that personality is that she's very indecisive and she wants to try all these new things and she can't just pick one and stick with it. And this comes back again and again. But like, what I don't like about this show is that the male characters also have flaws, but those flaws are just accepted. The other characters will like bring up their flaws, but not once are they ever expected to change. Like, Monterey Jack is addicted to cheese, and that comes up a lot, but like, they never once take him to an intervention. Dale is obsessed with TV shows and he's constantly getting the others in trouble because of it, and never once are they like, hey Dale, maybe you should watch less TV. But there's this underlying theme throughout where Gadget's indecisiveness is not accepted. Like, they keep trying to push her to change. Also in that movie, they give her daddy issues, which I'm just like, it was the 90s, but still like, no. How can you get a character so right and then make her so wrong? Anyway, I love Gadget. There is a lot to love about her character if you take her out of the context of the actual show and the situations that the male characters put her in, or the way that they undermine her, or the way that she is super intelligent and very talented, and yet she is forced to maintain a humble attitude. Like, anytime anyone praises her, she's like, oh, I couldn't do it without my friends who are all male. Girl, you built it. Own it. So again, with Gadget, I have a lot of expectations for this new movie. She hasn't been in the trailers except in like flashback scenes, so I'm a little concerned as to what her role is going to be. I really hope it's not damsel in distress. Oh, they would be doing her a dirty disservice. But who knows, it's 2022 and we're in the era of like subversive nostalgia movies, so who knows, she could be the villain. Disney could take the boss lady trope way too far and really mess with Gadget's characterization yet again. I hope they don't do that. I hope they stay true to the essence of Gadget. Okay, that's it. That's all I really wanted to say about Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers. Oh, I have so many hopes and expectations for this movie, and I hope it does not disappoint. stay tuned in June for when I talk about that movie. The Rescue Rangers hiatus was 30 years and mine was only 1 year, but last year felt like 30 years, so it's fine. I'm gonna call this a soft comeback for now. I've got a couple of things on the go. I'm pretty busy, so I'm gonna just try my best to put out 1 video a month instead of the 2 that I have been doing previously, because it's a crazy time and I don't want to overwhelm myself with too many things. I still don't really know what I'm gonna be doing, except for having these lukewarm hot takes. So if that's what you're here for, don't worry, I've got them. Although my next vlog will likely be a life update, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, stay just short of fantastic.